Good evening and welcome to the live Hemingway Jones Fountain Pen Show. This evening, we're going to speak about something that I think is a lot of fun, and that is all the little rituals and things that we all do as fountain pen users. We are a particular bunch, aren't we? We are very discerning, I think, and we definitely get into the details. And it's many of the details that can sort of make what should be a very enjoyable writing experience sour, right? You get the nib just wrong, the ink color just not really working for you. It can throw off the whole experience. Or something about the pen, the way it feels in your hand. Maybe it's a touch too heavy. Maybe it's a little long, puts it off balance. Maybe it's just not the kind of nib you want in the moment. So I thought it'd be a lot of fun to just go through some of the things that end up sort of being rituals that we do as fountain pen users probably every day, certainly fairly often. You might not identify with all of them, but you're certainly going to with some of them. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's our primary subject, and we're going to get to it shortly. Some other things too we are going to get to as well, including an accidental collection. I have another accidental collection. I don't know how it happened, but it did. And I thought I'd share it with you. And what I mean by that is that occasionally there's these things that I start to have more than one of, and I'm like, oh no, I think I have a collection. I don't mean to be a person with various collections. It's not my intent, but often it is just how it is. And this one is particularly interesting, so I'll share that with you too at some point this evening, as well as some stationery that didn't make the cut from the Paris vlog. Did you catch the Paris vlog last week? That was the video I put up. By the way, I see all the thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate the thumbs up. It certainly helps the YouTube algorithm. So thanks for that. It lets people out there know that we are here in our little corner of the internet, where we talk about fountain pens, inks, journals and journaling, and just about anything and everything that's going to keep you writing, keep you inspired, keep you focused. That's the point of this whole channel. From the pen, you can go anywhere. The pen writes in ink. The ink is a river that runs through it all, continually, through our entire lives. Pens made these books behind me. Pens are part of the notes I take at work, the poems I write, these scripts for my videos. The script for my Paris vlog was written in my notebook while I was in Paris. It was actually kind of fun. I wrote it in various sites, and I was able to recite it into my iPad. I use my iPad quite a bit. This is invaluable to me. I just use it for everything, but you can dictate into it. So that was great. And then when I made the video for some of the voiceovers, I just had it right there. The other ones I recorded on site in Paris. So catch the Paris vlog. Very fun. And I want to recognize the amazing Marcus Souza with the $35 super chat. Thank you. He says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Marcus. Thank you for your generous support almost every week. Marcus is the best. Lovely guy. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping to keep the lights on. The lights are burning bright in part thanks to Marcus. Thank you so much. I see my buddy Shaq MD is here. Always a pleasure to see Shaq. Shaq, who has the most beautiful, beguiling handwriting of any human being I know. Always a pleasure to watch his mostly shorts. That's what I see mostly that he puts up on his channel. So follow Shaq as well. Lovely fellow, very nice gentleman and a friend of the channel. Ooh, Joe Brown. Joe, you just remind me. I see Joe Brown is here. Hello. I need to promote the Commonwealth Pen Show. It is happening this year. It's in September here in the wonderful Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I've said it before. I'll say it a million times. It's the greatest place on planet Earth to live. It's one of the most culturally interesting places that I've ever been to. I love Massachusetts. And the Commonwealth Pen Show's in Somerville in the middle of September. I forget when, but I have a feeling that Joe will put it in the chat. So nice to see all the activity going on in the chat. If you're new to the podcast and to our live stream each Tuesday night, there is a vigorous chat community that meets up and discusses everything from what's going on in their pen lives to beyond. So very lovely group of people. Many of the members of this channel are here each Tuesday. And the only thing I ask from you is if you watch regularly, please subscribe. I'd love to have you on this journey with us because we go to some interesting places and I work hard to keep it interesting. That's kind of my mission, is to keep things interesting, keep it original. And we have such a lineup for you this week and this summer. This week's video is going to be really interesting. It sort of fits in with the last one. So we had the Paris vlog where I talked about my somewhat controversial opinions on some of the things we encountered in Paris. And I was really pleased with the support. A lot of you guys watched it. I know that it's slightly different than my normal programming, but we do cover stationery stores and pen shopping. I did find the pen purchase of a lifetime, and that is this lovely Mont Blanc in fine for 30% off. I mean, that never happens. And then an additional 12% off because I got the VAT tax back. So who could beat that? I certainly couldn't. So I didn't, and I bought it. And it's nice to have a fine nib. It's a little different than my medium. But I'm probably done with non-heritage nib Mont Blancs. I really prefer the heritage nib. That is a softer nib. It's a little more interesting. Maybe that coral pen, which I probably would buy if my Wes Anderson came in, but I'm not buying anything until that shows up. I'll do an update on that in a few minutes, but I want to stay in the same vein with the Paris vlog. So you guys were very, very supportive and lovely in the comments. I always worry a little bit when I get a little controversial. It's very much sort of an Anthony Bourdain style approach to the video, and I do take stands, you know. George Hesser mentions the Adventures in the Louvre book, which I bought at Shakespeare and Company, and I show that in the video. He is reading it and enjoying it. It is a great book. I'm still reading it, and I'm loving that book. It is really interesting. It's a very great sort of journalistic approach, very light. Takes on the history of the building, the various works of art in there, and weaves it all together in a really compelling and interesting tapestry of information. Sort of like how I strive to do on my videos, sometimes more successfully than others. But I do think that the Paris video went swimmingly. So I was very appreciative that you guys were so receptive and kind in the comments and everything. So I really appreciated that. Thank you very much. Let me see. David Holmes says, Tim, your hard work is greatly appreciated around the world. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. I do strive to keep this interesting. The whole point of this channel is to always be kind of fresh, but have threads. So there are narrative threads that run through it. And thanks for all the thumbs up. I see them flying by and all the lovely comments. And you guys, if you're watching the replay, please go into the comments and let me know what your favorite part of the Paris vlog was. It'll help me when I make my next one. I'm off to Chicago next month for the Atlas Stationers sidewalk sale. And I hope to meet a bunch of you if you're anywhere near Chicago and you can be there that Thursday and Friday. Please do, because I would really love to meet you in person. I know we're having a panel of some sort. I don't really know when, but I know that it exists. So there'll be questions and answers, and I always love meeting people, even though I'm a little bit more shy than you guys would realize, but I do manage. So I try to push myself through these things. So I do appreciate that. Okay, I do like to share my pens. So let me show you which pens I've been using, and then we'll move along through our topics and hopefully weave an interesting tapestry this evening. So here we have my Lockbee Quattro, which is getting nice and ink marked and sort of worn out, which I kind of love. It looks like an old barber jacket right now. A lot of the wax is sort of worn away. A nice texture to it. So these are the pens I've been carrying. I really haven't put this aside yet, and it still has cuttlefish brown ink in it. If you're not familiar with cuttlefish ink, it's interesting because it goes on brown and then it sort of settles into a more black. So, no drawings of cuttlefish this evening. But can you see how that's nice and brown? I really love Andorelium's inks. I'm not going to try to spell it. My spelling is legendary in how bad it is. But you see, it's brown. See, it's already darkening. So very nice shade. Highly recommend it. A great black alternative. Sometimes black can be too flat in fountain pen ink, but with this, it's a real nice alternative. I think some inks, especially some of the more sort of Ferris wheel press style inks, can be too light. I like a nice dark, high contrast ink. And this is all of that. So I quite like this combination. It's certainly going to be in here for a while. One of my favorite pens. Now, oh look, there's some ink here. Yeah, that's great. I love that. I'm using it, and it should be used. So let me show you another pen. Now I'm going to contradict myself because this just has Namiki black in it. But this is the absolutely gorgeous Nippon Art Maki A Great Wave fountain pen. You're going to see a lot of this on the channel shortly. All right, I need you guys to respond to this and tell me if I'm not right about this. If you start writing with a Namiki nib, you start to sort of ask yourself, why am I writing with anything else ever? This is a fine. It's a very, very fine. It's sort of like an EFF because it's from Japan. But it's so elegantly smooth. And yes, it's black, so it's a little bit flat on color, but you can put whatever you want in here. But the pen itself is so elegant, has a nice weight. The decoration's gorgeous. It's signed. Coco Kai, I believe, is the design studio that makes it. It's really something. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. If you're not a Namiki person, I think you need to become one. I could get lost in Namiki. I don't know Flying Squid, Jack. Jack says also Flying Squid and Dark Squid by Andorelium. Love them all. I only knew of one squid, so I am not as up to speed, Jack, on squids as you are. So I appreciate that. I will have to have a look. I don't know if they change and evolve the same way, but if they do, I'm on board. But I think at some point in the channel, I might just become sort of a Namiki fanboy and start buying Namiki pens. And maybe just writing with Namiki because they're so good. They're so precise interesting and so steeped in Japanese culture. And my wife has a specialty in art from that part of the world. So she actually loves when I want one. She's very supportive of anything Yorishi or Makie. So I am always able to buy one of these with her full support because she just loves them. Lady Banks says, Namiki is on my list, but I have others ahead of it. I can understand that. And, you know, I never gave them much attention, but now that I have, I kind of am like, why didn't I do so sooner? So a very beautiful pen. Look at that, huh? Okay. And then the last pen that I just can't seem to put away is, yes, the glorious Watchman Edson. This pen is a beast. And the color is a clay to sapphire. But watch this. This is why if you ask me, why do you use that color so much? Watch this. Look at this. The Edson, I truly believe, is one of the greatest fountain pens ever made. Ever. I'll put it up against anything. It's that good. Certainly one of the top ever made. But okay, do you see that? Do you see what I'm talking about? Not only do you get perfectly beautiful uniform line, a little bit of variation, but look how a clay to sapphire just leaps off the page. That color loves to just stand out in beautiful saturation. And look how it complements this double barrel. So pretty. I just love this color. I almost sometimes wonder why I have any other blues. But I do love Tatcha. You know, I just realized something. I have Tatcha Hokusai. I should have put that in my Great Wave pen. I might have to do that at some point. I forgot. But it is a Great Wave, and I have that. But this is great for like signatures and just everything. Ah, so nice. So flowy and beautiful, and I love the ink. And that gold cap brushed. Ah. I'm going to be a little immodest for a minute. A little bit. Ryan says, it matches the pen nicely. I agree, my friend. So I believe that I am single-handedly responsible for driving the price of these up. I don't know if you've noticed. You used to be able to pick these up in the high $700-800 range. Now they're knocking on $1,700, and I really think, and maybe I'm just being immodest, and you know, hey, if my ego's running away with me, but I really think that I started talking about these on the channel in a huge way last September, and I've just seen the prices since then just skyrocket because they're not making any more. This is a 30-year-old pen. It's so good. If they did, if Waterman made these again, forget it. They'd be the greatest fountain pen company out of everyone. I would prefer them over Mont Blanc. That's how amazing this pen is. So those are what I'm writing with. I still, at my desk, have a couple pens I'll show you in brief. One is the Gravitas Vacfill with Compeki. Another great ink. I have a blast with this pen, but it's always handy, even as I beat it against my camera. Another one, maybe I have a short memory, I almost forgot, but of course the Mont Blanc in fine. Why is this important? Because this week's video is the full story on how I got this for the discount, that I did, all the video of that happening, and I take this and compare it with my, what is it, 12-year-old now? Something like that. Mont Blanc 149 in medium. I weigh them, I measure them, I do a side-by-side comparison and a review of this bad boy, whether or not it's good or bad, because it could be garbage. Who knows? You will know on Thursday. So a little fun with a Mont Blanc comparison. I also moved it up in my rotation because I want to get that on lists. I want to be able to talk about it on the live show. It's a pretty compelling narrative there to talk about. And the first step is this video coming out on Thursday. But that kind of boosted my programming out. So next week is a video I'm really proud of. And it's the handwriting secrets of Jane Austen, where I do my best to write just like Jane Austen. We do the history of Jane Austen. We look at her writing and we talk about which techniques that she's using. And I do my best to replicate her hand. You can judge me on how good or bad I do. But I will say, once again, I'm going to sound a little bit egotistical, a little bit. But hey, I have a YouTube channel. There's got to be some kind of ego going on there, right? And you know me, there's sort of the ego and then there's the self-loathing, and it sort of balances out. Makes me a fairly normal person day to day. I think I do a pretty good job, but I do want to hear from you. I want to hear if you enjoy the video. There's a whole series coming up of handwriting, history of the person, analysis of how they write, me doing my best to emulate exactly how they write, and teaching you stroke by stroke how to do it. So the first one is Jane Austen. There's at least 2 more already filmed and many, many more to come. So I think you're going to enjoy that new series. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this after it's posted. I'd appreciate it. Also, thanks for the thumbs up. I see lots of thumbs up. I appreciate it. So, Hadrianus says there's a Meisterstück Classique Le Petit Prince Aviator on Peyton Street pens. I love Peyton Street pens, so that is super fun. So go check that out and grab it if you can. Allie J. Hi, Allie. Just got your letter. Thank you. I'm so here for copying Jane Austen's handwriting, right? I think we're going to do Jane Austen again because you know why? I'll tell you guys why. I didn't own this when I filmed that episode, and in retrospect, I wish I had. This, of course, is a beautiful period-accurate dip pen, so I could have written like Jane Austen with the kind of pen that Jane Austen writes with. That would have been brilliant, but sadly I had already recorded it before I got this pen. So that's why I feel like I need to do a part 2. So that will come, or I just need to find another 18th and 19th century writer to emulate. There's plenty of them out there. But still, Jane Austen, there's a lot there. She had a very, very interesting hand. Let me show you one more pen, and the reason is... What is the reason? The ink, guys. I've been using my vanishing point quite a bit. Pilot. Oh, little false start there. But caught up quickly. So this ink is the infamous... It's dark lilac, but I can't help it. Darth Lilac. Is it one L in the middle of lilac? I think. I don't know if I spelled it wrong. Shame on me. This is a great color. I really like this. This is another great black alternative that turns into a nice brown. Well, no, not quite brown. I think that's underselling it. I'd say like kind of a greenish gold. It reminds me of the shell of a beetle or the general... Gosh, that's not how you spell shell. That looks terrible. Sorry. Let's try it again. the shell. Oh, look, I can spell. Yay. Don't look here. Shell of a beetle. Not John, Paul, George, and Ringo, but a bug. Okay. Or sort of the general color of a peacock. That's kind of what this reminds me of. But this definitely feels like an Art Nouveau color, which would be great in a Pelican, because I feel like my Pelican M1000 is the ultimate Art Nouveau fountain pen. So that would be super fun. Super, super fun. So I have a blast with this. Okay. Let me show you some stuff. Should we do a little show and tell? Oh, good. Bully Run Road 30. HJ, you spelled lilac correctly. Fantastic. I am making progress. It's hard to write something while you speak about something else. That's an acquired skill I'm still working on. So there you have it. And I think I showed you this last week, but it bears showing you again. Imogen made this crocodile for me. I love it so much. It's been on my desk. It's so cute. Isn't it great? I love that kid. She was on the channel a few weeks back. You guys were lovely to her. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. You guys are lovely. Imogen is a legend. I'm thinking, if I can lure Helen back, I'm thinking of doing Cool or Not Cool Part 3. And since it's 3, I'll do the 3 of us, so we can get Imogen's take. That might be fun, if she's up for it. That would be so fun. Okay, it's time for Accidental Collection. And then we're going to jump into the stationery I didn't show you from the Paris vlog when I went into the stationery store. And these sort of fit into each other, so it'll go well. Okay. So, Cartier looks good tonight. I am over the moon about Cartier. I love my Rolex, but I really feel like Cartier is where it's at. And this, I think, is one of the best bargains in watches because it has an automatic movement. It's not quartz. Most Cartier tanks are quartz. This one is automatic. You remember the Prince song, AUTO-matic? Anyway. Pure class. The only downside, kind of a little hard to tell the time in the corners, to be honest. You definitely think in circles with the clock, and the corners can be a little sticky. Okay. Ooh. A vote for round 3 of Cool or Not Cool. Very, very cool. Okay, so this is my accidental collection. And it is of watercolors. I didn't realize that I had a collection, but suddenly I did. This one is one of my favorites. This is from my buddy, Aqua Marina, who has her own YouTube channel and is a legend and just a lovely, nice person. And she sent me this, and it's brilliant, and it's beautiful, and I haven't used it. The sad part is I really don't use watercolors very much, but I'm trying to. I'm really going to push myself to get back into them because I have a collection, evidently. But this is one of my favorites. She makes these. She puts them in vintage housings and makes it that much more interesting. So she is an absolute artist and a legend. If you don't know Aqua Marina, check her out. Go find her. Find her. She's on Instagram. And she does a lot of stuff with Alexandra Art Insanity. 2 very nice people. So, brilliant. So kind to her to send me this. She sent me this for my Venice trip. And of course, I didn't open it till I got back, even though the package came, because I'm just silly that way. But the palette is customized to match Venice in autumn. So there you have it. Okay, let's go through this quickly. We have a lot to do. So I also got this from Journal Say. You may have seen this on my video of Journal Say with Imogen. And what I love about this is that you get the Japanese. It looks like you get Chinese too. I mean, there's 2 alphabets there. I see kanji, and I'm not sure what the other alphabet's called. I wish my wife were here. She would tell me. But has all these beautiful colors, and I guess a nice description of them here. So this is very beautiful. Kuretake, made in Japan. So very lovely watercolor set. Untouched by Hemingway Jones, sadly. So I need to get to work on that. All right, I have another one. This is another watercolor set that I just thought was so charming. I believe I bought this at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Look at all those great colors. Get a little kind of mixing palette there. And this is really interesting because it's designed like a pen with water you put in here, and then you can paint. I think I used this once. It looks slightly used, doesn't it? But I have a vague memory of using this. Oh, there's like a bit of foam there. All these great colors. So this is a really great travel version. Very charming. And this sort of slides right in. Here's the pen, in case it didn't show up very well last time. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So this is a pretty cool one. Not very descriptive saying cool, but let's just say very pretty. Lots of different colors and options. And easy too. I put this in totally wrong. It's stuck. Stuck in there. All right, there we go. Much better. Much better. Okay. This one I actually used. So, and there's a brush here. A very wide brush. Nice one though. Ooh, soft. So I have these. And then, lastly, and kind of the whole reason for this exercise, you probably saw that I went to the Maran Montaigu in Paris. And I had to buy this, even though it was sort of the last thing I needed. But I bought it. And it's another watercolor set. With 2 beautiful brushes. Lots of colors, a little palette mixed in. I guess this is another place to mix, I'm assuming. This looks better to mix. But very nice. Kind of heavy kit, but very pretty. Everything they do is very, very pretty. So this didn't quite make the video, but I wanted to share it with you now. This is what I got there. Pretty, right? Okay, now let's get into more fountain pen related. Sorry about the bumps. This I also got there. I did open it, but I wanted you to get an idea of what it looks like when you buy something. It looks like it's wrapped in a little gift. And I have some of this paper. It's going to be probably in my B-roll now because it's so charming. I love it. So this is how it looks. Kind of wanted you to have this experience. I bought, I guess you could call it I guess it's a journal, which is the last thing I need is more journals, but you know me. It's kind of a notebook. Can I get away with it, calling it a notebook? You guys go along with that? I think I see some support for me. Give me a thumbs up if you support me. So Luxembourg Gardens, and it's one of the chairs that you see around, which I just think is so charming. And it's a beautiful sort of watercolor cover. Maybe I should learn how to paint like that. It would be charming, right? But it has their name, has their address, Paris. The back has their symbol. Looks very tarot, doesn't it? Which is really fun. The Rue Madame. 48. 48 in Italian. I don't know it in French. So, you also get beautiful gold paper, almost like a tarot deck. In a way, that's kind of what this looks like, right? Lots of lovely comments, guys. Thank you. So, the paper, I haven't tried it, but it feels very nice. It feels sort of heavy. Almost like watercolor paper. I don't know if it tells you what the weight is. Look, it has marble on the end here. It's very nice. Fabrique in France. It's very nice. Souvenir of Paris, made by hand. That, I think that's what that says. It's like souvenirs de Paris fait à la main. So I'm going to guess that's like, you know, fatto in casa. It's like made, homemade in that case, but made by hand. Here, marchand d'objects in tours genres. I don't know, maybe in many genres or many types. I don't really know what that means. I don't speak French. I barely speak English. And my Italian is nearly as bad. This is great for writing your name and your address and things. And it's just really a splendid notebook. So I'm delighted to have this. And I'm probably going to use it very, very soon. But as you know, I am not going to run out of journals anytime soon. I am always picking up journals. Noah's Stationery Corner. Hey, Noah, how are you? You can always use more journals. Indeed. Oh, you know, which reminds me. Paper, okay? So my buddy, a very lovely chap and supporter of the channel, Lad Gardner, sent me an email today, and he mentioned that the Pen Plus Gear personal notebooks, college ruled 30 sheets in brown from Walmart, are quite affordable and are decent with fountain pens. Now, I don't know. I don't use these, but he mentioned it, and I respect him, and he has always given me really good information. So he said that you might want to consider it. They're very, very affordable. They're good with fountain pens. And who knows, the prices might go up because prices are rising rapidly in the United States. So if you live in the U.S., you might want to stock up because it's getting crazy out there with inflation. So it's a good tip. Thank you, Lad, my brother. Okay. A couple more things I want to talk about before we get into the main topic. Tracy Stimson, always lovely to see you in the chat. Everyone's here and accounted for. So, it was my wife's birthday yesterday. So, happy birthday to my lovely wife, Helen, who I adore and who is sincerely the middle of my world, the sun to this solar system that we all revolve around, and no less shimmering than the sun. So, happy birthday to the love of my life. We went out for sushi. There's a place that has Kobe rolls, which is so delicious. Kobe wrapped with avocado and shrimp tempura. It's like a little surf and turf in a little petite package. It's brilliant. So we had a blast for Helen's birthday. So wanted to mention that. And over the weekend, I watched the movie Sinners. That is an amazing film. I had a blast. It's very watchable. It's full of folklore and themes about culture and defined spaces and identity and sort of parasites and leeches that are assimilating your culture. And oh gosh, there's so many themes I could probably go on, but it's like a mishmash of From Dusk Till Dawn, Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards, and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It has one of the best soundtracks of any film I've seen in a long time, and some just incredible writing. And it has that quality that I love in a good piece of media, whether a book or television show or film. When it was over, I really missed the characters. It resonated with me on an emotional level, and I'm still kind of working it out, and I can't wait to watch it again. It's just a really solid, original, interesting film. So I highly recommend it. I believe it's on Max, which is now HBO Max again. So check it out if you haven't seen it. It's nice to see kind of big budget Hollywood do something original for a change. And I know I said it's somewhat influenced by those other films, but it's still a purely original piece of filmmaking. The directing is incredible. Very, very well done. Okay. Update on my Mont Blanc Wes Anderson pen. Yeah, there's no update. There's no ETA. There's no anything. So communications miserable. I've been meaning to call them, but I'm so busy at work these days that I haven't had a chance. But I am really disappointed in them. Their communication's bad. Their delivery's bad. It was supposed to be out in early May at the latest. They were saying like April, early May. Here it is, mid-July, and there's no ETA at all. So take that with what you will. That's Mont Blanc for you. How hard is it to make that pen? I don't know. Maybe it's going to make it more rare. So maybe it's a good investment. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm not super happy about that. Okay. One of the other things too, very traumatic, that I thought I'd share with you guys is that I canceled my physical paper. So I have been getting the Sunday New York Times since the 1980s, since I was probably 18 years old, and I am 58 now, so that's 40 long years. And each Sunday I have my ritual. I make coffee, juice, toast, and I read the New York Times, which the Sunday New York Times is just amazing. You learn so much. There's so much in there, from the book review to style to, well, there used to be travel. Travel's gone now. They have cut things over the years. But there's just so much in there, so many different insights. The opinion pieces are interesting, even if you don't agree with them. I disagree with everybody on everything. I'm just a contrarian. The reporting is interesting. Just the local stuff is good, local to New York, because they don't really report on Boston, but really solid. But anyway, I'm just going to miss getting the physical paper. I'm going to read it on my iPad, and the reason is it's $100 a month to get the physical paper. That's like $1,200 a year, and I think it's $300 for the electronic version with full access. It just didn't make sense. And it's nice to read it on your iPad. It's got animation and it takes you to different articles, but it was kind of a big deal. I always like to have the physical paper. I like the little drawings in the margins, and I even like some of the ads, seeing the different watch ads and things. And Sunday was the first week without it, and I just feel a little sad. So there you have it. The goat asked, Tim, I don't know how you're so patient. I know what you mean. And I'm sure you're talking about Mont Blanc. J.R. Diaz, my buddy, how are you? Says, ugh, Mont Blanc should be ashamed. They should. And you guys aren't wrong. But remember, from my point of view, right? I did this for the channel. I mean, I did it because I love Wes Anderson and I was really curious about the pen, and my curiosity wouldn't let it go, but I knew it would be a good story for the channel. And I was hoping to make a video that would be one of the first to market, because in what I do, if you don't get a video out right away, no one watches it. No one cares once they see one. Even though I feel anything I do would be an original take, but that's my ego again. It gets in the way. But it's a good story. So the reason I'm so patient is this is all becoming part of the story. And I certainly have other pens that occupy my attention. I have one coming up. You guys are going to, it's going to blow you away. So that's why, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay. Okay, Rye, misses getting the globe every day. Cancel when the price was more than our internet. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's just too expensive to get the physical, but I love getting it online, so I'm happy. All right, let's get into these rituals because we're running out of time. I don't know how I kept rattling on other topics, but I think some of these are fun. So let's have a good time with these fountain pen rituals, shall we? I think the first one is the ritual of getting up in the morning, getting ready to head out for your day, maybe with your Lockbee Quattro or some other pen case, and asking yourself, who am I today? Which fountain pen suits what I'm doing? Do I have an important meeting? Do I need more of a power pen? Is it more laid back? Am I going to do a lot of writing? Do I need something more fine point for some of my note taking? What am I wearing? Do I want to wear something that complements what I'm wearing? I do that. I do match my pens to my clothes. So it's this whole ritual of obsessing. And I know something's wrong with me when I can't commit to a fountain pen. I know that I'm overthinking things, or maybe I'm not as solid in who I am at the moment. If I can't just go, oh, you know what? Vanishing point, perfect for today. Lots of meetings. Great for taking quick notes. Maybe a little noisy. Maybe I'll bring the LS. And then done. Bam. Done. Go. Kind of gives you a little hint into your mental state if you can't commit to a pen. But it's definitely one of my daily rituals, all based on what I'm going to do that day, who I am that day, what I need for that day. And then it has to suit me for the day. And often it doesn't. So what'll often happen and become sort of another ritual is sort of pen remorse. If I only bring one, it's 2:00 and I'm like, why did I bring this one? It's not really working for me today. I should have brought more than one. That's why I've been bringing 3 lately. But that does happen quite a bit. Or the worst is I didn't check it. I didn't check the pen for ink. And now it's 2:00 and it's out of ink. And it had black. And the only ink I have on my desk is, guess, everyone? You know what it is. A Clay de Saphir. So now I have blue-black in my pen. So that's something I put myself through as well. And another ritual is, as I select my pen, does it have ink? Does it? So there's kind of 2 ways to check. The most expedient often is I'll just write on the back of my hand, or I'll just put it on my finger. And if it starts to get inky, I know I'm okay. And I'll, at least for a little while. Occasionally I'll open it up and look. If it's a piston fill, I have no clue. Weight, seems kind of heavy. I don't know. And a little bit of obsession there. Of course, ink color is a factor. Does that suit who I am and what I'm doing for the day? But certainly writing on one of my body parts is part of it. You'll see in some of my B-rolls, little strokes on my, I'm doing it to the camera, I forgot it wasn't on. Little strokes on my hands, on the back of my hands, or even on my finger. Often up here, I'm like, oh, does it have ink? So little self-graffiti, if you will. And I guess if you jab yourself, you could tattoo yourself, but that's another issue. So Lady Manx asks, you go to work with ink on your hands? Yeah, I do. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. No, it really doesn't bother me at all. It's not a lot. If I get if something explodes on me, I'll wash it, but usually you can't get that off, and I just go with that too. What are you going to do? So that's another one. Another one of my rituals is to keep scrap paper at hand. I have little pads I use for the channel. You've seen them. They're all over the place. Fortunately, people are kind and they send me these, usually companies. This came from Atlas Stationers. And the lovely Brendan Schmidt, who I will be seeing at the sidewalk sale. I've never met him in person. Can you believe it? So I'm going to meet him for the first time. And he sent me a bunch of these. Very nice, these Pencos. Very nice. So, but I have a whole bunch of other ones down here, and people are very lovely to send them. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I still see them flying by. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like a man. Nice to see you, brother. Okay, so I have a lot of scrap paper where I test to see if it's writing or if there's like false starts or if it dried out or what have you. You know, sometimes too, I'll write on scrap paper and it makes me want to write on nicer paper. So this is maybe less a ritual and more of a compulsion. But I'm like, okay, it writes, but you know, it's not very satisfying on that feathery, junky copy paper. Let me try it on this really nice Clairefontaine, and then I'm starting to write something I don't really have time to write, and I'm just enjoying the experience of writing, and it's totally a distraction from me doing my Italian lesson in the morning, which I do every morning, or eating my toast if I'm having toast. I don't have toast every day, only on the weekends. Usually just coffee during the week. So there's that. And then another true ritual is wiping nibs. Just, you look at your nib and it's got a smear of ink on them. It often does on the nib, often by the tines or on the side. And if you wipe it just right with a shop towel or a chamois, it'll be perfectly clean. And it's, if you hover too long, it draws more ink out of it. But if you just wipe it in this beautiful swoosh, you can get it perfect. Maybe you drive the ink along the tines, perfectly funneled down the center, off the tip. And it's, for that one glorious moment, it's clean. It looks brand new again. That perfect moment. So that's something. I try to get that perfect moment. Rarely do. That's why most of my nibs are a mess. Including in my videos, I like to be honest and show you this is what my nibs look like. They're a mess because they're being used. But boy, it's great when they're clean, isn't it? They're never clean, but it's fun to try. The other thing is the whole cleaning of the fountain pen. Totally superfluous in most cases. I've said this before. We all clean our pens way too much. They don't need it. If you want to change ink color, you can clean it if you want to. I don't always. Sometimes I just change ink color and then I go from red to blue and I get purple for a while. And it gradually turns into red and it's pretty great. I actually prefer it in the transition. It doesn't take long. It's usually about a paragraph, maybe a little more. And it gradually goes from blue, purple, red, or red, purple, blue, depending on which direction you're going. It's fantastic. I wish it would always be that way. I mean, there's inks like dark lilac that change, but none that change progressively, unless you're sloppy, like me, and you just ink on top of ink and not worry about it. It gives you this glorious moment of transition. I did a whole video on it. And I stand by it. And I recommend it. It's freeing. But, nevertheless, isn't it fun to clean a pen too, for no good reason? Just take it apart, clean it, especially if you have time. It's great on the weekends. I keep a little glass container by my sink, just for that. I tend to like to fill it from the glass and expel it, and then wash the nib, and then keep doing that. And that way I'm not flushing it with dirty, inky water. That's how I like to do it. But we overclean our pens, ladies and gentlemen. We really do. I think you know that. On top of this, have you done this? You fill your pen with ink. This Thursday, I'm filling the Mont Blanc Fine with ink. On that video, you'll see which one I chose. Might surprise you. But sometimes you put ink in, then you go, why? Why did I use that color? I regret it instantly. And occasionally you squirt it back into the bottle, clean it, and then you put a different color in there. Or you squirt it back into the bottle and don't clean it and put a different color in there. I have done that. I will do it again. I often regret it right after I do it. That's why I don't know. I think I'm simplifying my life as I get older. I think I'd be fine with maybe 10 inks. We need another ink purge. The Great Ink Purge, Part 2. Part 2, really? Okay. So that we need to do. The other thing is, have you done this little ritual I like to do when you've been writing with your pen for a while? It's running out of ink, you know it. It starts to feel it. You can feel it. You start to get intuitive as to when your pen is running out of ink. So you open it up and you crank down the converter all the way. Crank it down. You get maybe another paragraph. I love to do that. Sometimes you're overambitious and then you make a mess. But most of the time you don't, because you can feel it. You get a sense. You get a sense of when it is. And then I guess the last is checking your pockets. Where's my pen? When I travel, when I was in Paris, for instance, my pen was clipped here for most of the day. So even though it's not going anywhere and I can feel it, but I still, it's like, where's my keys? Where's my wallet? But it's there. It's there. It becomes a ritual, you have to keep checking it, make sure it's there. But there it is. By the way, guys, I'd like to remind you, if you've watched this far, you like this channel, please subscribe. It's really the only thing I ask. I'd love to have you on this journey. And consider becoming a member, too. We have a lot of fun. We have the Pen Pal group for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members. Don't miss that. And this Thursday, we have a video on the Mont Blanc Fine, brand new compared to the Mont Blanc Medium from 12 years ago. Has it changed much? Maybe. Is it a bum one? Is it a terrible iteration? Or is it perfect? I don't know. I mean, I do know. I filmed it. But you'll know Thursday. You don't want me to tell you everything. You know, the suspense is terrible. I hope it will last. And then next week, how to write like Jane Austen. And that's going to kick off a series. I think they get progressively better. So I think you'll enjoy it. I'm going to cover a lot of people, including, I believe, yes, I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to tell you, Howard Carter. I'm going to do Howard Carter. Why? Because I miss my Egyptomania. It has not been on the channel and it needs to come back. So I'm going to do Howard Carter sometime soon. Lisa Nadeau says, how do we become a member? Hi. There's a couple ways. If you go into the description of any of my videos, including this one, there's a link that you can click. Supposedly, too, like right down here in the square, there should be a join button that says join. You can also go to www.youtube.com/HemingwayJones/join. And you can join that way. Love to have you. The Pen Pal group is a lot of fun. Almost every Pen Pal member is here now, which is absolutely lovely. I love you guys, and I appreciate the support. You guys keep me going. I make these videos for you because I need an audience, and I tailor them to you guys because I know what you guys like, and I figure if I can make you happy, then maybe other people will like it too. So I think you'll enjoy what's coming up. There's some new, interesting things, all in the same spirit of Hemingway Jones. So I think you'll like it very, very much. Very much indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We've said it all. It's been an amazing hour. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment and check out one of my other videos. And do take care of yourself. I can promise you we will see each other again very, very soon further up the road. So take care and much love. Wait a second. Somebody get a super chat in right under the wire when I'm saying goodbye. I'm so glad I saw that right before I said goodbye. I'd feel so terrible. Hadrianus, thank you. $20 super chat. I'm looking at getting into vintage pens. What's your preferred inks for vintage pens? That's a good question. I tend to use the really delicate ones. Anything by J. Urban, like Eclat de Saphir, you don't have to worry. They're all very gentle. And I think you're okay with something like Serenity Blue from Waterman or Quink by Parker. Anything like that. Even the Pelican Blue is nice. Those sort of gentle good guy inks should serve you well. So thanks so much for that. Getting that super chat in under the wire. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support from all of you, and I've had an absolute blast tonight. I hope you did as well. Do take care of yourselves. See you on Thursday, and again next Tuesday night. Much love. Take care.